Hi, I've decided to make this video to show people at home how they might be able to fashion a mask to wear to the supermarket or generally around. It was announced that they could help to stop the spread of the disease COVID-19. Next I'm going to draw the pattern. So I now have these two patterns. One of them, this one is kind of more curved and fitted to the mouth, and then this one is a simpler shape, and it has pleats which gives room for your nose and for your mouth. I'll start with the pleated one. So here I have some paper scissors and some fabric scissors, some bias binding, and then I have some elastic here from some old bra straps, and some other elastic that I think had come from the inside of some trousers or something. There's some cotton here that I found lying around. You could use a pair of old jeans, and I also found this kind of like slightly thicker felty material. The first thing to do is to cut out your pattern. You want to make sure that you follow the line as neatly as possible, because that will make life a lot easier for you in the long run. And these little triangle corners will show you where to fold the material, so you want to include those when you trace the pattern onto your material. You might want to, if your material is quite creasy, then you might want to iron it flat first, because that will make it a lot easier for you as well. So I've laid the pattern down onto the material, and I've put it as close to the edge as I can so that I don't waste any of the material. And now I'm going to go and trace around the edge with my pen. So I have drawn around my pattern, and now I'm going to cut that out, trying to include all of these little corners. So I've cut out the fabric, and you can see the different little corner tabs here. And the way that this pattern works is that the corners, the top tab is going to fold down to the bottom tab line. So you can take one corner and fold it to match the next corner there. So crease along that edge, and then you'll fold that back up to that tip there. I'm going to pin that into place before doing the other two pleats, otherwise it's going to move around. Next I'm going to take the bias binding, and I'm just going to put that on this side and on this side. Now that I have those pleats in place, I'm going to cut these triangles off so that it's easier to put the binding on. When pinning this into place, all of my pins are going in this way, from right to left. That's so that when it goes through the machine, it's easy to pull the pin heads out as I'm sewing through. If you don't have any bias binding to fold over, because this is a straight pattern, there's no curves, you could also use some ribbon, or you can get just a strip of material to fold over the edge. Now that these edges are finished, you can trim the little ends off of here, and then we're going to put the binding across the top side, and we're going to leave an excess on either end. I've left about 20 centimeters on the end of each one, and that's all pinned now and ready to sew. And from making it, I've learned that it's not very comfortable trying to tie it behind your ears. So it's better to tie it around the back of your neck at the bottom and around the top of your head at the top. So I think that 20 centimetres on the top was a little bit short, and I would go for maybe 30 to 35 centimetres on the top. So next I'm going to make this mask, and this one you're going to cut 2 pairs of fabric. I'm going to cut 1 pair out of this green material, and I'm going to cut 1 pair out of this slightly thicker material, just because I have it and I think it may be good to use to give it a little bit more shape. So there is my first pair. And because this material is nice and light, I'm going to fold it in half and trace the pattern so that I can cut out both pieces at the same time. And it can help to pin the 2 layers together to make sure that you get the right shape. So we're going to put the right sides of the fabric together, match that edge, put in our pins from right to left, and then sew along this edge. So on this one, if you open up the seam, there's quite a bit where this sticks out. So I'm going to stitch down each of those edges. And this one, I'm going to go and iron. Take both the outer fabric and the lining and face them together and stitch along the top edge and the bottom edge. Then turn inside out. And we can finish these edges by turning them in. I've turned that in by about 1 centimetre, and the elastic will stitch just inside. I'm going to set the machine onto a zigzag stitch, as that will fasten that a little bit more securely. Because these bra straps already have these adjusters on them, they have these hooks on this side. On the other side, I'm just going to fix in these little loops. If you're doing this with a normal elastic or an elastic strap, like a bra strap without a slider, you could just measure it to your head before you stitch. So this is the second design. This one is definitely more fitted. It's probably a little bit more complicated to make, but I would say that it feels quite secure and a lot more comfortable. I hope you enjoy trying to make one too. Good luck!